Hello and welcome to Footy Judge Mode. This is your counter views daily afternoon in the UK, morning for me, evening if you're in Australia, of course. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Listen, hit that like button. We got a cracking show for you today. Both teams that dropped point. Who's worse? Manchester City at home against Crystal Palace after being 2-0 up, or Liverpool with a stinker against Manchester United. Van
Stinker.
Dijk crying.
Crying.
He literally crying after the game. "Oh, we are the only team that came to play. Why didn't they play football? Why didn't they play football?" But Tom is here to eat some shit after he's talk about Arsenal and talk about Man United. Aren't you one of the guys that said it's going to be an easy game?
No, I just said I wanted 6 to complete the set. I didn't think it'd be easy.
Seems convenient to me.
Listen, people, we'll talk about the game, so hit that like button for us. And there's only one place to start, is Man United versus Liverpool. And Tom, talk to me about Jurgen Klopp or the players' faults, or someone has to be at fault, right? It cannot be that Man United
Everyone's
were
at
good.
fault.
Can it
Everyone's
be
at
that
fault.
Man United were good?
No.
No.
United weren't good.
Impossible, right?
We were our own worst fucking enemies. They didn't stop us. We stopped us. Klopp got it wrong, which is the first time this season he's got it wrong. This Szoboszlai, Gravenberch midfield team. Stop it. Don't work. The front three, fucking hell. I've seen front threes at under 14 football have more chemistry than them three. The defence was actually all right. I thought Simicast was fine. Van Dijk was fine. Canate was fine. Trent was fine.
I thought Endo was good.
Endo was fine. It was just moving up. Once we got to the attacking five, it would just turn to fucking shit. Salah, one of the worst games I think I've seen him ever have for Liverpool. Passing wasn't there. Dribbling wasn't there. Shooting wasn't there. Couldn't get involved in the game. Last 20 minutes, he was sort of a little bit more in there, but yeah, I just couldn't get involved. Nunes, fucking hell. I've been told that I am attacking the man for saying he had clear-cut chances that he didn't take because statistically he didn't have them. The man had a header at the back post unmarked from 5 yards out that he headed back across goal. I don't want my striker heading it across goal in that situation. If you do, you're not a striker. I'm sure I'll push this on. Well, you wouldn't want Lautaro Martinez heading that type of header back across goal, would you?
Martinez goes for goal even from a dead angle, so that's
a
striker needs to be selfish, and the problem is that he's not selfish. He doesn't know. That's what I'm telling people. He doesn't know. His decision making is absolute shit.
His brain isn't quite there yet. Like that sounds like an awful thing to say, but no. I love Darwin Núñez, by the way. There were two moments, I think, especially where he's got the ball so like well, okay, at least two then. Edge of the he's on like the edge of the box, and Simicast is tearing it down the left. All he's got to do
stops.
Is slipping. Yeah, all he's got to do is like slip in Simicast, and Simicast can either have a shot or have like a cross, a cut back, and it's basically a tap-in. And as you say, he just sort of like pauses and pauses. He's not. He
doesn't know what to do, bro. He has no idea what to do with the ball. Man United players at that moment. That's the moment I mentioned yesterday. I said Man United players at that moment left him. Like, they know nothing is gonna happen. They went to mark the other players.
He was somewhere. It's the one where the throw happens. It's flicked in. He's literally in. He's in on goal. If he can just say, he doesn't even take a great touch, take a decent touch, and he ends up touching it into the ground, back off his knee, into the ground again, off his leg again, and it rolls across. Then Diaz has the shot, and people are having a go at Diaz for having that shot when Núñez's crap touch is the only reason it went there. When any other striker controls it and hits it from that angle, because that angle that he was originally at is the angle where he scores his goals from. Diaz, I'm not even letting Diaz off. Diaz was crap as well. I watched that man get tackled 4 separate times by Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony was good, man, by the way. He was good defensively. So was Dallo.
He turned
Defensively.
Anthony into fucking
Defense.
Wamba.
I'm glad you followed it by defensively.
Oh, yeah, well, I could only go too far with that.
You followed it by defensively, praising a winger for his defensive work. But anyway, Tom, why are you so frustrated, Tom? Why are you so
Because
so-
we should have won that game.
why should you have won that again?
Because
That is the
we had-
argument. Okay, so hear me out. And Nobbins, you please chime in.
Mm.
Why every Liverpool fan are saying, but we should have won this game? What clear-cut chance did Liverpool create in that game?
I'm not-
Clear-cut, other than,
okay.
in my opinion, the one that I would say it's a big chance is a Salah layoff to Trent, which is brilliant that he went near post, by the way. It's brilliant, right? He just missed by an inch. And the corners. So why Liverpool fans are coming in with it, but we came to play. They are happy with the draw. Well, I'm telling you, Man United had one chance with the goal and Alisson saved.
It's not me saying that. I'm saying that even before the game, we should have won this game because it would have
After
put us
the
back
game,
top
should you
of
have won the
table.
game? Do you think a draw is a fair result?
Yes, because we were shit in front of goal.
Okay, now you're talking. But because I have here some
We
Liverpool,
we didn't deserve.
one
We should
corner
have won.
would have changed.
We should have won that game.
Changed the game.
But we didn't deserve to win that game. We
All
should have
right,
won it, but
then.
we didn't deserve to win
Now
that
we're
game.
getting
because
somewhere,
We were dickheads in front of goal. And
All
all
right.
this does now is put a hell of a lot of pressure on midweek and next week. A hell of a lot of pressure because if we'd have beaten United, which we should have done if we weren't dickheads, and then we'd beaten Arsenal, which is going to be incredibly difficult to do, even though I run agendas. If we beat them, we would have been 6 points clear, no, 9 points clear of City while they'd have a game in hand. City can claw back big gaps. They can do. They've shown it in the past. But 12, it could have been before they played Everton at Goodison Park. 12 points. That's a big gap, that. And it would have been a statement. And now we've just pissed away one of the better opportunities you're going to have because our attack is shit. I miss my Hermal Diogo Jota. My hero, the light in my life, the star in my skies, the player who knows how to fucking finish a chance. I miss him so much. It is now time for this Trent thing. This Trent thing that we have a shut the fuck up, Assad.
Respect to Darwin.
It's time for this Trent thing at right back. Let's just commit to him in midfield now. I want to see him in midfield now. I hope that all the people who ever fucking doubted Curtis Jones can now see the light that you actually need him in this team if you want all your good players to play well. Because all these dreams of having a Gravenberch, Trent, McAllister, Szoboszlai midfield, it doesn't work because there's only one football on the pitch. You need a facilitator. You need someone to do the dirty work. That's what Curtis Jones does. I want to see Gomez at right back. I think Gomez has been very good at right back recently. The fact of the matter is, Joe Gomez had 2 of our best chances yesterday. The motherfucker hasn't scored a single senior professional goal. And he's making the right runs and having the best chances. That's how bad we were. The manager deserves some blame. The players deserve a lot of blame. We just need a reset.
I actually disagree with you. I disagree with you. The manager doesn't deserve any blame. The manager got it right.
Blame.
You pinned Man United back, right? You created chances from
City.
You got into isolation. Luis Diaz was isolated. And hear me out. Luis Diaz was isolated. Mohamed Salah got the ball at the edge of the area and could have done something. Darwin Núñez got in good place, in good spots, right? Szoboszlai was ahead of the 18 with spaces to shoot. That's the manager's job. The manager's job is not to put the ball in the back of the net. The manager's job is to put the tactics to get the players into the right places. Well, personnel or not personnel, the manager chose these personnel, and I agree with him, right? Endo played well. Gravenberch was driving with the ball, but not after that. Man United were collapsing, but he was driving with the ball. Szoboszlai got in good places. Szoboszlai pissed the ball away without any pressure. Why are you blaming Jurgen Klopp? Because he played Núñez? Hold up. Because he played Núñez? That's the only reason why he would play. He played Núñez. That's it. He played 2 fullbacks, attacking fullbacks, Trent and Tsimikas. He didn't play another center back. I think you're just crying. Jurgen Klopp got it right this game. It's on the players to deliver. I swear to God, it's on the players to deliver. You
I have
got
explained.
75% ball position. You pinned Man
I
United.
have explained why I don't think he got it right. You
In terms
cannot
of what?
play.
Personnel? You're talking about
You
personnel?
cannot play Soboslai and Gravenberch together.
But
They
it
don't
worked.
work.
It
They
worked.
don't.
You
They
controlled the
don't
ball.
work
You
together.
created chances.
They
No.
don't
would,
work
what
together.
I would say on that is, obviously Liverpool, had lots of chances. I think it's fair to say United had the
They
best
didn't
chances.
have a lot
though.
of chances, no. But
United had the best chance
They
of the
had
game.
in good. They
United-
got the ball in good places. Okay?
United
In good
had the
position.
two best chances in the game, though. I think just objectively, there was that Højlund shot, and then there was the Garnacho. I mean, it didn't turn into a shot because Trent did get back, but Garnacho should probably do better. They were able to create the two best chances in the game, whereas Liverpool created they did a lot of little things. But would you rather have one big chance or a lot of little things? So I think that's a question that's got.
Yeah, but I
If
agree
I'm
with you.
weighting
No, I don't
blame,
disagree
if
with
I
you
am
guys.
weighting the blame, Mo, I'm not saying it's 50-50 on the manager and the players, but the manager deserves some blame.
For
Because
what?
anyone
Give
could
me
see
what did he do? Because of the lineup? Because of the midfield?
the lineup wasn't
What
right
would
and then the
have
substitutions
changed
were too
if
late.
hold on, Tom. What would have changed if Gravenberch is out and Curtis Jones is in? Would you have had 78% possession, for example? Would Curtis Jones create more chances than Gravenberch? Would Curtis Jones defend better? What would have done though? What would have happened if you had Curtis Jones instead of Gravenberch? What went wrong in the tactics that you wanted Curtis Jones instead of Gravenberch? Go ahead.
Curtis Jones frees up Soboslai a hell of a lot more than Gravenberch does, which is what you want because I believe that Soboslai is a better player than Gravenberch. And the issue Soboslai has at the minute is because Trent is doing the inverting stuff so well, he's biting the bullet and being the defensive-minded one, which isn't his game. Curtis Jones is also much better at offering and operating in the wide areas, which we severely lack when we play Gravenberch and Diaz, because both of them want to cut inside, as they should do, because that is their style of play. I'm not going to knock that. I'm not going to bemoan that. That is what we bought. I can't expect that to change. But you need to figure out complements. Curtis Jones complements Luis Diaz. Would you have seen a slightly better Diaz performance? 100% you would have done, because he frees it up. Curtis Jones isn't going to win me that game. He's not going to score the winner. He's not going to create the winner. I know that. But Curtis Jones is going to do the shit jobs, which make other players, better, which is what we needed. Gravenberch was fine,
but you didn't need someone to do that, Tom.
But we did.
My counter is that you didn't need anyone to do dirty job. Man United were giving you, especially in the first half, were giving you the ball voluntarily. Amrabat was taking the ball and just giving you the ball. McTominay was stripping on the ball.
A dirty job is literally what we needed yesterday, because our front three was so spread apart. It was. Hear me out.
I'm gonna shit myself.
Our front three was so spread apart. If you have Jones there, it gets closer together. Therefore, we're not having the same shit interactions that we were having. It allows Soboslai to get further forward. Therefore, the shit passes that he's playing
further forward. How forward more do you want him? He was next to the 18.
Mo's gonna shit himself.
If we're gonna be disingenuous like this, let's not. You can't lie and tell me Dominic Soboslai was dead forward.
Tom, I'm never disingenuous, and I try to explain my points, and I hear your point, but I'm trying to counter your points. But you're not hearing me. You were really high on the pitch. Man United were deeper. You had the ball in the final third, right? But listen, each one to their own. I know I like Curtis Jones, by the way, but I didn't think yesterday the personnel would have made a difference, in my opinion. Maybe Jota for Nunes. Because Jota knows how to play in small spaces. Maybe. I don't think changing anybody from the midfield would have changed anything, because Man United midfield was literally non-existent. They were non-existent. You didn't need anybody to do anything. Anyway, listen, people. There is about 300 people here, so can we get the likes at least to 100? It's easy. It doesn't cost you a penny. And the like button look like this. I know you're enjoying the show, and you're enjoying Tom's tears after what he did to Arsenal. So, because we have a lot of Arsenal fans, so hit that like button, people.
I don't know why Arsenal fans are excited, mate. You got to play us next week.
I am listening to you, Tom. I'm really listening to you. And I would hear you if, for example, you were pinned back. Man United were able to, for example, push your lines back or something like that. But I didn't see anything from Man United. To be honest, Man United yesterday.
No, this is my point. This is my point.
Oh,
I want
okay.
you to just pull up this average positions thing real quick.
All right, I'm gonna try to show it. Okay, here we go.
I don't want Dominic Szoboszlai there and Gravenberch there. I don't want my left centre mid there because, as you can see, he's getting in Diaz's way. They're getting in each other's way. I want him over there, so Diaz has that freedom, and I want him as the advanced one. So imagine mirroring this. That's how I want it. I also don't want him playing. I want Gakpo there, and then he can become either Nunes. Therefore, you get a little bit more, width, or it can become Jota and you get a little bit more goal threat. But this setup, when you've got Trent and Verton, they are on top of each other. They are on top of each other. It doesn't work. You just end up congregating and blocking off too many spaces. They need to be more spread out. Hence why a lot of the time yesterday when we had the ball, it was stuck together shit. If Jones is there, Jones will operate in more of this space, which gives him the license to get there, and he gets the license to go there, which is more freedom. Diaz can't go further out. Why? Because Diaz is not capable of doing that. He's never done that. He starts there, but then runs in there and then sits in there. For me, I just look at it and go, Jones gives everyone else in that team more freedom to do what they do best. I'm playing Gravenberch there. That's not saying Gravenberch is a bad player, but as you can see, it just forces us to gang up and block too many areas and force our play down too many of the same shit avenues. When we made the changes, he was a little bit more inside, but once again, they were getting in each other's way. They were getting in each other's way. They were getting in each other's way. We just have too many players who like to hold each other's hands. What are we doing? It's not like fucking nursery when you're on a school trip and you've got to hold each other's hands so you don't get lost.
All right.
We're on
Okay.
football
Well,
pitch. Why are we
are you
all so
panicking?
close
So
together?
are you panicking? Are you panicking though?
Panicking in terms of what, like the season's over and stuff?
Not the
No.
season is over. Like, what is your target this year? And don't tell me top 4 because the league is weak. Each one has to be aiming for the league. Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, you have to be aiming for the league title. This is a chance that might not come again. 3 teams, Arsenal are struggling the least, but Man City are in the same. And we're going to come to Man City now. Are in the same. You have to be aiming for the title. This was a chance.
Oh yeah, it was a massive chance of scumbagging. I still maintain that my minimum expectation for this season was a 3rd place finish, winning the Europa League, winning a domestic cup. We are on track for the Europa League. We're on track for the domestic cup. We're on track for the finish. But as the season has progressed and as the season has moved on, that expectation, that target for where we can finish in the league has improved and increased. So to the point where I now believe that we can win this title with a bit of luck. But situations like we're in at the minute, where our team are tactically struggling, has to change. We have to figure it out quicker because we can't. If this carries on for 3, 4, 5 games, then it is going to be pissed away. We have not been very good this season. Let's not act differently. We've had one stellar performance where I thought from minute 1 to minute 90
you're
we've
not
dominated.
bad though. You haven't had a bad game other than maybe people told me Palace game, which is I still think that.
No, but Mo, we haven't had.
You haven't
good
blown
game.
teams away. You haven't had it.
We've
The
had
only
one
game,
good game
Aston
and one
Villa.
bad game.
Aston Villa
Was the best performance of the season.
was the game that I would say Liverpool are absolutely great. Listen, but I want to speak a little bit about Man United, just because I want to be fair. I want to speak about Man United because yes, Nobbins is a City fan, and yes, you're a Liverpool fan, and I'm a neutral. But I want to speak about Man United because they have to take some credit. Andrew Wright is saying Liverpool fans online fans were having meltdown. Salah washed, Nunes and Diaz out. Basically, they would sell half the team. I think people are overreacting. I genuinely think people are overreacting.
Sour stuff I don't get.
Oh my God, yeah, football fans are overreacting. Listen, there's about 340 people here. Hit that like button, people. Only 120 likes. Come on, people. The like button is easy. It doesn't cost you a penny, but it helps the channel massively. This is my opinion about Man United. I said it yesterday. People didn't like it. Man United were not good going forward at all. They couldn't connect 2 passes together. However, some moments from Kobe Mainoo, he is very good going forward, but I thought physically he was weak in that midfield. Amrabat was pissing the ball away many, many times. McTominay, if they had one of the things that I said, tactically, Ten Hag got it right. but he needed a better player than McTominay to play at that 10. Because when they bypassed the press from Liverpool, it stopped at McTominay. Anthony, as a quality player, he is shit going forward. The guy would pass the ball wrong and blame a teammate. I'm being serious. Garnacho, and this is what I keep telling football fans, and I do the same for my club, for Inter. You cannot rely on big games, on 18s and 20 years old, until it's Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, Mbappe at his day. Kobe Mainoo was good yesterday, right? Garnacho, a little bit, was, even Trent defended against him very well. I think Garnacho needs more experience. The problem with Man United fans, and people don't believe me, and I want to get Nobin's opinion about this, they put so much pressure on an 18 or a 19 years old, and they ask them to do all the work. The difference is Rico Lewis for Manchester City have players around him to carry his hand and help him, which helps a player to progress. But these guys are asking Kobe Mainoo and Garnacho. And yesterday, Kobe Mainoo wasn't bad. He was probably the best midfielder out there from Man United. But it's too much to ask.
Yeah.
But tactically, Man United, they weren't bad defensively. But going forward, they could have done better.
I think genuinely massive props to United, because you've got to remember the context of the suspensions, the injuries. You say you're quite right to point out that, McTominay's a 10, ain't it? But in fairness, that there weren't really, unless I'm missing anyone, their best players on the bench were like, Hannibal, Palestri. There obviously was no Bruno Fernandes or Ericsson available. So I think that Ten Hag actually did a really good job with the players at his disposal.
100%.
I know Dalot got sent off. For me, he was man of the match. I thought defensively he was fantastic. I also was really impressed with how, when Onana played it short, it was always to Dalot in the centre, and Dalot turned and got his team up the pitch. I thought he was fantastic. And Steve touched on, we know his offensive issues, but defensively he was very sound. But Varane was brilliant. He does have his limitations in terms of ball playing, but as a box defender, he still got it clearly. And yeah, I thought he was really good. And yeah, I'm really excited as an England fan, I'm excited at the prospect of Mainoo. I already probably want him in the England senior setup. I think he is that good. I think he will be that guy. He obviously does need better players around him. He can't work miracles. He needs a better player than Amrabat next to him. He needs a better player than McTominay in front of him. That ball to Garnacho alone was just fantastic, and he brought a lot of calmness to United's midfield. It's just a shame from a Højlund perspective. He had like that one big moment to get his first Premier League goal, and maybe we're just like seeing that he's not quite there yet in terms of like the calmness in front of goal. So yeah, again, given the context that myself included, I thought Liverpool were going to batter them. They got battered 7-0 last season. United just got battered at home by Bournemouth. So many issues at the squad generally. So many issues in terms of availability. I thought they were well worth their point, to be honest. And yeah, again, huge credit to Ten Hag and huge credit to Man United, to be honest. As I say, I thought they were, as I say, especially given the context, really good. And again, they created the two best chances in the game.
Do you think Ten Hag? I said before the game that if Ten Hag gets a result, now that gives him time until January or even later. Is that a good or a bad thing?
Sorry, for who?
For Ten Hag, for the club, for Manchester United.
It's a very good thing for Ten Hag because he gets more fucking money.
Because but is it good for the club? Are we not, like, everybody wanted Ten Hag out? Now he got a result at Anfield. Not a lot of people do.
I've always maintained that it doesn't make sense to sack Ten Hag given the context of the lack of available options and the fact that if you sack another manager, not only you'd have to pay him off. I mean, these managerial payments are really stacking up for United. They will impact them financially. We already know they're in a bit of an FFP situation. It doesn't make sense for that perspective. And also doesn't make sense from a squad building perspective, because again, we there are still players at United who are hangovers from Louis van Gaal's tenure. So sack Ten Hag, you get rid of his, and then what are a lot of his signings? Do they suddenly become void and irrelevant? Then you're bringing in another manager with their different philosophy. So as it stands, I just don't think it makes sense for a number of reasons, especially, and again, given the whole external factor of the takeover / not takeover, which may or may not be happening or may not be finalized soon. In my opinion, it doesn't make any sense to sack him. I mean, unless things get mental and they're in like the relegation, then it's a different story. But as of now, there is no logical. If in my opinion, it's not logical to sack him. Whether it's ideal that he's at the club or not is largely irrelevant. In my opinion, it doesn't make logical sense to do that.
I'm not sure, to be honest, about that, because in my opinion, I don't think Ten Hag can turn it around. Maybe he can. I don't think he will. I think if they can't play like this majority of the games, he got it right defensively, very compact, and everything was good defensively. I still think that. Listen, for some reason, Amrabat was shit yesterday. I don't know why he was shit, because he was good against Bayern Munich. So something was lacking yesterday. Kobe Mainoo looked better than him. I'm not sure what was Anthony doing. I'm not sure if Ten Hag will. Johnny Evans, for example, was very good. Varane was good. But again, it's easy to defend when you're compact, lines with each other, everybody's close to each other. This is easier. And in my opinion, I'm going to give them credit, because you stop Liverpool from scoring. That's not an easy job at Anfield. Liverpool is not easy to defend against, especially at Anfield, and they did it. Credit to the players, credit to Ten Hag, credit when credit is due. But in my opinion, I'm not sure if he is the guy that to change things.
I don't think he is either, but again, you've got to think about the squad building. You've got to think about the other available options. You've got to think about the takeover situation. United, for the last decade, have been this cycle of just constantly, consistently sacking managers when they get bored with them. And it's like, at what point is that cycle going to break? At what cycle is it going to change? There's no way you can tell me that every single individual managerial appointment has been a mistake in itself. I just don't buy it. Whether Ten Hag is the man long-term, that's a different question. I don't think he is the right guy long-term, potentially. But, as I say, if you sack him, you're probably introducing even more issues, and you're probably solidifying that identity of just sacking managers off, when probably that's not the most logical thing to do.
Let me do this couple of super chats here. Akil is saying LFC are fine, Liverpool are fine. This is overreaction due to the impending anticipation of destruction. I blame Hussam. He said 6-0. I think Liverpool needs a win midweek to get some rhythm back. I blame some Liverpool fans who said 6. I said 2-0. I said it's not going to be an easy game. It's going to be not an easy game. It's not going to be, they're not going to blow them away. But yeah,
I thought
Tom,
3-0.
it's not Curtis, it's Alexis we missed. Alexis McAllister.
We missed McAllister, but he couldn't play. I was just on about the players that we had available yesterday that we could have played. Obviously, we missed McAllister, we missed Jota, but they aren't available. So I can't exactly say, he should have played, because he can't. We've missed another player that we missed was Joel Matip. I think now people, even though he's in the last year of his deal, people are now starting to realise just how important his build-up play is. Even though Konate had a very good game, I'm not arguing that. Konate was very good. What Joel Matip provides in the build-up is.
But you didn't need build-up. I don't get it.
But no, but Mo, you sit there and say that we had 36 shots, 8 on target.
So how is that a coach's fault? If you're allowed to get in places to get 36 shots, that's quality then.
Because out of the 36 shots, about 17 were from outside the box.
But that's a good. But by the way, that's one of the things. So one of the things when teams are compact, you get in places to get shots. You're not gonna walk the ball inside the goal if the team is compact inside the 18.
No, I'm not.
That's very hard.
Only
Manchester City can do that.
I'm not expecting us to walk the ball inside the goal, but I'm expecting us to not have our right back Joe Gomez hitting shots from outside the box, even though he's never scored a professional goal before. I'm not expecting DMs and left backs to do it. When you have players who can build up, all I want us to do is get in and around the box. Not what we were doing yesterday. Out of our best chances were from set pieces.
And fell to
defenders. And came
defenders.
from our centre-backs. Our centre-backs had the 2 best chances of the game.
I hear you.
So the build-up was an issue because we weren't creating the right chances.
But Man United, you have to give credit sometimes to the opposition, in my opinion.
Yeah,
listen,
they defended well. They left with the result they wanted.
They defended very well.
And if they had a striker that wasn't Rasmus Højlund, they'd probably go on and win that game because he finishes that chance.
If they had another winger than Anthony, and if they had another coach than Ten Hag, they might have won the game. And if there was another club there, they might have won the game. But this is what they have, so which is the same as what you have. The only difference is that Jota's injured and you had to play Darwin Núñez. Listen, guys, 350 people here. Can we get the likes up a little bit? Switching gears to Manchester City. The collapse. The collapse of Manchester 2-0 at home. I don't know what to say about this Manchester City team. I thought this game is easy. I thought it would be a normal day, a regular day where you blow away Crystal Palace. You scored, you did everything right, and then your players overconfident, thinking that the game is ours. Nobbins, to be honest, I keep saying this Manchester City still not the same because your manager Pep Guardiola is trying to find the right combination. Ake, instead of playing Ake out wide, he played Ake in the center and Gvardiol out wide. Rico Lewis, John Stones, very late substitution for some reason, right? Foden now in the middle, Bernardo on the right side. A couple of weeks ago, it was Foden on the right, Bernardo in the middle. He doesn't know. And I said he doesn't know what to do, and people told me I'm crazy. Do you think Pep Guardiola is struggling? Genuinely, no banter here, to find the right combination. He is still trying to find the right combination for the midfield and the team, especially without Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne.
He's not picking the right players, if in my opinion, if that's what you mean.
Yes, he is trying. He's trying everything. Kovacic, Núñez, Rico Lewis here, Gvardiol there. Like, he is still trying. That's what I mean.
Yeah. We've spoken a lot about the Alvarez midfield situation. That actually hasn't been an issue the last two games because Haaland's obviously been injured, so Alvarez has played at top. And actually, against Luton and Palace, we played some of our best football this season, especially in that first half against Palace. I thought we were fantastic, genuinely. As I say, I thought that was maybe our best half of football. Even the second half as well, that continued. And I thought we were great. I thought we were so fluid in the midfield. Gvardiol was basically asked to hold the width on the left. That meant Grealish was able to play in the middle, and that created both goals. If you go back and look at the goals, both goals are created by Grealish being in that middle space, whether it's his positioning on the first goal or the second goal. He doesn't have to hold the width on the left because Gvardiol says so. He just drives into the space in the middle, and that worked perfectly fine. The main issue is for me the fact that Kyle Walker has gone from a player last season who was as much as I love Walker, and in my opinion, from a career perspective, whatever, he's the greatest right back in Premier League history. So I'm not trying to disrespect him or anything. But last season, he was basically a bit part player in our treble winning year. I think he played around half the minutes, something like that. There was a period where Rico Lewis had him sat out of the team. He didn't start the Champions League final. That should tell you everything. Kanji was played ahead of him. So Walker is obviously, is a year older compared to last season. And all of a sudden, he's been handed the captain's armband, obviously got that new contract, and he's played more minutes than anyone at Man City so far this season. And that includes goalkeepers. He's played more football than Ederson this season. As I say, more than anyone. So he's gone from not really playing that much to being the main guy. Tom loves these plugs. As I outlined in my recent YouTube video, he does nothing from an offensive standpoint. We already know this. This isn't news.
We don't sneaking it in. Fox in the box. It's like Filippo Inzaghi in his prime. He just finds that little space to drop it in. It's incredible.
We know he doesn't offer anything defensively. Sorry, offensively. That's fine. That we all know that. That's all good. However, he's also not offering any defensive elements anymore. It seems like Walker is this specialist 1v1 defender who locks up the likes of Mbappe, Rashford, Martinelli, whatever. But outside of that, he's very limited in terms of what he can do. Even defensively against Palace, the first goal, lots of people are focusing their analysis on Ruben Diaz, which is fine. However, my complaint is that there was no danger when Palace had that ball for the first goal. It was just a harmless long ball over the top. It's 2 Palace players versus 4 City players. There is no transition. There is no counterattack. City are in their shape. And Walker just doesn't do it. Walker just watches and jogs back as he sees and he allows this player to get a 1v1 situation with Ruben Diaz, which I thought was really weird. Yes, Diaz should do better. Yes, Ake shouldn't allow the player to run ahead of him. But in my opinion, it starts from Walker not wanting to go back and help out his defender. Ruben Diaz, who I love, is slow. I did not understand that. Even the penalty, yes, we can talk about, the decision making by Bernardo Silva giving it away, and obviously Foden shouldn't give away a penalty. Very stupid thing to do.
He didn't see the guy. Just don't blame the guy.
Sure.
He didn't see him.
Well, and that's what I'm getting.
To be honest with you, Foden shouldn't be there to defend.
Well, that too, but also, as you rightly say, Foden doesn't actually know he's there, or if he does, he's not as aware. He's not looking at him.
It'd be helpful if Kyle Walker gave him a shout.
I'll tell that. Or I'll tell you who.
Because Kyle Walker was literally looking at him.
I know,
he's like silent. You know what? He sees Mateta coming, and he sees Foden. It's gonna clear.
Exactly. Now
he's like enjoying the moment.
Now that is our leader, and that is our captain, and that is our most experienced player on the pitch. That's the most experienced player on the pitch. Someone's been in the Premier League since 2011. He's been here for over a decade. Why? And again, captain, the leader. Why isn't he screaming, mine, running onto it and smashing it out of play? There isn't really any threat there. Again, Foden shouldn't do it. I'm not just trying to bail Foden out. He ultimately does give away the penalty. That's fine. But again, and this is a big leadership issue as well. There was no one on that pitch, because that's fundamentally why we lost. We didn't have, from the 91st minute onwards, we had no game management. That's the reason why. There was no.
You blame everyone but one guy. You blame everyone as a Man City. You blame everyone but Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, because I don't. Well, I guess I blame Pep and the Walkers on the pitch, if that's what you mean.
Kyle Walker remaining on the pitch was the only bad thing he'd done.
I guess you can, all of my Walker criticism, you can have under the bracket of a Pep Guardiola criticism, because I don't think Walker should be starting these games, if that's what you mean. But, sorry, I can't remember what I was saying. Game management, none from the 91st minute onwards.
I watched that video of yours yesterday. Wasn't it like, so the 5 minutes beforehand, you had the ball for ages, and spells you had like a minute every time in charge of possession, and then for the next minute and a half, it swapped like 5 times, and you held the ball less than Palace did.
Exactly, yeah, and that's a fantastic plug by Tom. Go watch my video after. Really? But yeah, so I've got the stats right here. So I counted this. I sat down painstakingly and counted all the possessions. So from the 85th minute to the 91st minute, lovely game management. The ball was in play for around 6 minutes, of which Man City held the ball for 5 minutes and 13 seconds. An average possession lasted 50 seconds. That's what we call calm game management, being passive with your passing and killing the game off, going side to side, being very lateral and just waiting for the game to end. From the point at which Ederson clears it from his own goal kick, from his own possession of the ball for a throw-in for no reason, from the 91st minute through to the penalty instant, 1 minute, 18 seconds later, Palace had the ball for 37 seconds. We had it for 31 seconds. In that tiny period, possession changed times 5 times, compared to the 7 times it changed in the previous 6 minutes. It went from changing once every 50 seconds to once every 15 seconds. Now that is what we call a basketball game, where possession is just changing constantly. And what does that mean? That means you're more liable to opposition counterattacks. That's the last thing you want in the dying embers of a game where you've played so well, and you know you've played well, and you know you deserve the win, and yet you just can't be sensible and hold on for the win. If someone along the lines of, and this is my point about the leadership situation, a Gundogan, a Fernandinho, a Company, etc., maybe even a John Stones, probably, they go, guys, what are you doing? Just like punt it out, just keep the ball, hold on to it. But for some reason, and I don't know why, because I've always seen Ruben Diaz as that guy. Maybe I'm wrong, but there is no one orchestrating that. There is no one taking charge there and going, right, lads, let's just hold on, go to the corner. 3 points. Doesn't have to be pretty. Let's just get the win. But for some reason, I'm not. Can
I interject and tell you one thing?
Yeah, sorry, I've been talking a lot.
Job is it? No. I'm not gonna dwell for long. Do you know whose job it is? You had Mateo Kovacic, you had Darwin Nunes, you had John Stones, you had Nunes on the bench, you had Manuel Akanji. Only Nunes is not experienced, even though he played in the Premier League before. If your manager isn't seeing from minute 75 that the players need a little bit of a spark in the middle, the players need to a little bit hold the ball more, the players need to stop the counter-attacks from Crystal Palace a little bit, I think it's his fault. He needed to make subs. Pep Guardiola got into his feelings again and the way he manages games and said, I am not making any sub. He made the first sub, John Stones, 94th minute. Probably it was too late. If minute 75 comes in, make a couple of subs. Put Rico Lewis out, right? Make another sub. Even pull Foden out. Pull even Alvarez out. Play Foden as a false nine. Put in another midfielder to control the ball more. That's what I would have done. Do I know more than Pep? Probably not. He won a treble, but I'm here to give you what I think he should have done. I thought another midfielder could have helped. Just one more, because you still at the end of the game ended with Alvarez, Foden, Bernardo, and Jack Grealish. He could have had one more midfielder and one more midfielder because Rico Lewis was driving with the ball forward. He has this capability. Rico Lewis could have done that. Mateo Kovacic could have done that, right? But Pep Guardiola was stubborn, Nobins. And nobody, to be honest with you, I'm tired of Man City fans not criticizing Pep for what it is and criticizing the players. It's the coach's job.
The main reason why I would disagree with that is because we've even seen against Spurs, Kovacic was on the pitch, but he was one of the main culprits for pressing out of nowhere, which then led to the Spurs equaliser. I don't think the personnel is the problem. Bernardo Silva, I would argue, is one of the most press resistant and that word control we love to use as City fans.
Watch. More you don't know more than Pep. Yeah, so we should just shut the stream. And whatever Pep is doing is the right thing. We should shut the stream. Never talk about football again because Pep knows. Do I know more than Klopp? No. Do I know more than Yag? No. But that's our job. We're here. There's 400 people watching us, so we're going to talk about it. If you don't like my opinion, it's up to you people, right? Yeah. But you guys are very Man City fans, and I'm not talking about Nobin, are very sensitive when we say that Pep did something wrong. Very sensitive.
Yeah, look, I'm not against saying Pep does stuff wrong because I don't agree with the appeal to authority fallacy.
If you disagree with me, we are now debating the points. You think,
that's fine.
I think. That's
it. So the reason why, as I say, the reason why I don't think it is Pep to blame for this very specific instance, outside of having Walker on the pitch, I guess you want to talk about that, is that, as I say, Bernardo Silva, one of the most press-resistant players on the pitch, the player you most regularly associate with the word control in terms of how good he is at just knowing when to slow things down, etc. As I say, he's one of our more control-based players. In the 92nd minute, he's trying to dribble out of danger in his own defensive third when we are only 2-1 up. So I don't know if I agree with the sentiment that, well, if you had a different player on the pitch, maybe it's a different situation, because I would argue that the player on the pitch who I would want to be in that situation was on the ball. Maybe Rodri more so than Bernardo, but you see what I mean. If even a player like Bernardo can just make a really weird decision like that in terms of trying to dribble it out of in your own defensive third in the 92nd minute, I have no idea why he's doing that. That then leads to the penalty, and we've discussed the whole Foden Walker clearance or lack thereof situation. So yeah, for me, it's annoying because it was such a good game from City. One of our best performances this season. In my opinion, look, obviously the results all that matters, but Palace, and I'm more than happy to give opposition teams their due when they take points off. I praised Aston Villa out of my arse. They were fantastic. But it's so frustrating because Palace offered nothing. If you watch that full 90 minutes, they didn't really do anything. But in 2 moments, we just decided to shoot ourselves in the foot, and that's a shame. It's just sort of like from the bright side, we sort of discussed this off stream briefly. I think we all agree this is a weak Premier League in terms of the top level. In terms of an overall, it's actually quite strong. It's actually quite balanced. In terms of the absolute
Premier League isn't as good
exactly,
as it was.
It's a low peak now. And again, this is Pep's worst season at City so far in terms of points acquired after 17 games. And yet, we are still only 5 points off the top of the table with all that context. So, obviously bad. But and also coupled with that, this is our worst period. From that, I think what started this period was it the Chelsea draw. I think we've only won 1 game in 6. Coupled that with it being our worst, 17 game start, and yet we're still only 5 points off Arsenal. So this title is still there to be won. I'm nowhere near as confident as I was, a month or so ago, obviously. But the fact that, as I say, the fact we're only 5 points off, that's 2 results. One of which is at the Etihad. That's only 2. That's only 2 games. Couple it with how bad we've been, it's actually not as bad. It's not like we're 9-10 points off. So the silver lining, that's what I'm trying to look at here. It's Christmas. I've got my Christmas jumper on. I'm trying to be a happy boy.
In my opinion, if City, this is one of the biggest chances for City to do a 4-peat. Like, I don't think a team will have it that easy. And I haven't seen a team that have it that easy. The league, with all due respect to Arsenal and Liverpool and even Man City, as I agree with you, this is the weakest league in terms of like anybody can win it. I think anybody can win it, especially from the 3 teams, of course. It's not like someone is going to run away with it. I think it's going to be one in the 80s points, in my opinion. It isn't going to be one in the 90s. Listen, there is Aston Villa out there. There is Arsenal, but I want to switch a little bit. Now, first of all, I want to get Tom's opinion about Manchester City. How do you view them? Right. 1 win in 5, if I'm not mistaken. Now, the problem with this City team is that they lost in 2 different manners. Be dominated against Aston Villa, and on the counter-attack against Wolves, and even they drew the game against Palace at home, which is a 2 points dropped, in a manner where they should have won the game. 2 attacks from Crystal Palace, and even though I think Ederson should have got a red card, clear red card, no question about it, and it's another... Ederson should have been off, but anyway, justice was served. How do you view this City team, Tom, especially after this draw?
I just think they're a side that don't know how they want to play at the minute. They want to play a way that they used to, but teams have figured it out, and they don't have the players who can do it in the same way. So it'd be crazy to doubt Pep and say he can't figure it out. But you look at what the issues that this City side has, the lack of control at points, the mentality that was there last season just seems to be fading a little bit. There's a lot more panic, there's a lot more nerviness in City's play, I feel, especially when a game is close. I look at also, it's been beaten into the ground a lot this year, but when Rodri doesn't play, just how bad City can look. That has to be a major cause for concern if he was to miss a long period of time. It's a side that has lost that fear factor a little bit. I don't think people are as scared this season of playing City as they have been in the past for whatever reason. And they just need to refine their groove. I've been saying that for me, I think it is a situation where he almost needs... Pep Guardiola's done so many tactical innovations. He now just needs to go for something a little bit more simple. You can over-innovate. I think now this City side hasn't got the IQ. You've lost a lot of smart players. You've not brought in many smart players. It now just needs to go back to something a little bit more simple, just to balance itself out. And then maybe in the future, a year or so down the line, you can get back into it. But obviously, they've got KDB to come back, but I think they're putting an awful lot of pressure on KDB to return. We have no idea what state he's going to be back in, because it's 2 massive hamstring injuries. They can really affect the player. So putting all this pressure on KDB coming back, I think could be a recipe for disaster. That City will figure it out, but yeah, I don't think this is going to be a title that's won with 90 points.
For me, the solutions aren't even that hard. It's just play players in their positions. It's don't play Alvarez in midfield, and it's don't expect Walker to be the main guy. Again, I point back to the fact that in our treble winning year, he played around half the minutes. Now he's playing all of the minutes, more than Ederson, more than literally anyone at the club, more than Haaland, more than anyone. And he's this black hole of creativity. Go look at like the average positions from Man City games. Go look at like the chances that he creates or lack thereof.
So did you just call him a black hole of creativity?
Yeah, well, because it just or a neutron star that's just about to collapse because he's got this gravitational pull where nothing happens around him, and it's not even his fault. That's the thing. He is. This isn't 2017 anymore, and he's not that guy anymore. And nor should he be expected to be that guy anymore. But my only. The only thing I can think of is and it's such an issue. As I say, most of those issues are solved by playing a kanji there. It's really not hard. The only explanation I can think of is a political one where he's been made captain. There was also that infamous dinner between Pep and Walker, and then he decided to sign an extension. So my only guess is that he's been promised a role or promised minutes in the side, and now Pep's got to deliver on that or something. Because from a tactical on-pitch perspective, if anyone in this chat can tell me right now, or you guys can tell me right now, outside of individual specialist 1v1 situations, what is it that Kyle Walker is offering this Man City side? The build-up breaks down whenever he gets the ball, and he's not even offering the defensive side to his game anymore. Again, that issue is really easily solved. Just don't play him, or at least don't play him as often. Play a kanji there. We saw how good he was in the Champions League final from a creative standpoint. His movement and ball created the goal. Kanji is very good at doing that. So, and again, that solves a lot of problems. Defensively, you can maybe even from a leadership perspective, certainly from an offensive perspective. And again, City were really good against Palace, just not in those. Just not in those two.
Why do you think Pep is so desperate to keep him ahead of Mahrez or someone? Because that you look at who you lost this summer: Gundogan, Mahrez, two massive players. But the one that seems to have the most effort in keeping him was Walker.
Yeah, now I actually agree with keeping Walker because, as you say, we lost a lot of experienced players. I think it was important to keep someone like Walker at the club because you don't want to lose all that experience at once. However,
that should very well in opens. He started the season in the first 6 games very well. You guys told that it's one of the best decisions we made and all the stuff. What happened to him? He started the season very well. You forgot?
No,
you remember? He was great.
He was great defensively. That's not a question.
But you didn't need him going forward. You remember you were scoring a lot of goals. The first 6 games, you won the 6 games in a row. You got 18 points out of 18 points.
That's fine because in the same way that last season when we were winning all those games, we had Haaland bailing us out. We had our left side bailing us out. Literally everything was coming from the left. Now it's a situation where no, that's not good enough. You need to be a threat on all avenues, clearly, from a seasonal perspective. Again, same thing last season. That was clearly Haaland's goals were actually papering over cracks of not actually that good performances.
All right.
That's the issue, I think. And then just to go to Tom's point, again, we lost Gundogan, we lost Mahrez. We shouldn't have lost Gundogan. That was stupid. Maybe the idea was we can't lose another really experienced player. And again, I agreed with the decision to extend Walker. But that decision should never have been made if the end goal or the price for doing that was, he signs an extension and he now becomes your leading main guy in respective minutes. That should never have been the sacrifice or the trade-off. And it's a pretty big downgrade if you think about, De Bruyne being that right half space creator. And now we've got Walker trying to cross balls in all the time and it's just not working. Again, so many issues would be solved by just simply giving him the role and the role in the squad, which reflects his abilities, which is a squad player, not a starter. Again, anyone wants to tell me here in the chat or comments, wherever, what is it that Walker genuinely offers this team going forwards, defensively, leadership? Let me know. I want him at City. I want him to be involved in the squad. He's got a good off-pitch role. But he should not be our leading player in respect of minutes played.
Well, he made him captain, so...
And that's what I'm saying.
Manchester City at the Jordan Henderson phase with Kyle Walker. You want to keep him around because he's good in the dressing room, but on the pitch you don't want to play him because he's not the best on the pitch.
Well, that's the thing. I don't mind him playing because he is a good player, but I don't want him to be the main man. I want him to be what he was last season, where he was a squad option. And as I say, if you're going in with your strongest 11 We all knew last season, again, the evidence is the Champions League final. That, in Pep's opinion, was his best team. Did Walker feature in it? No, he did not. Who did? Kanji. That tells me that Pep knows that Walker isn't that person. And yet, as I say, my only explanation is
Why
political
did John
reasons.
Stones not play yesterday?
Well, he's only very recently come back from injury, so I'm guessing there's something to do with that. I'm not sure. Either way, I don't think that would really solve an issue. Unless you're talking about Stones being on the pitch instead of Walker.
Maybe Stones instead of Walker.
Stones was on the pitch instead of Walker in the final, wasn't he? Stones was the right back, effectively.
Yeah, exactly. He can look. I prefer a Kanji to be the right back, but again, if it's a conversation of would you rather have Stones or Walker at right back, I'm having Stones because I know that he would be able to actually advance and do something, and not just again. There was like a pass grid of Walker, and he's just constantly just playing it back to Ruben Diaz, playing it sideways to Bernardo, playing it sideways to Diaz. Because he's not able to do that. He's not able to do what Gvardiol does in terms of progressing the ball.
I do feel a bit for Kyle Walker. Not feel because but I understand the gripe sort of because he's never been this attacking fullback.
Yeah,
so
and it's not his fault. In the same way that it wasn't Alvarez's fault. It was
that's
being played
why
in midfield.
He cannot be the best player, the best right back in the history of the Premier League.
No, that's stupid because it's 2023, not 2015.
He played from 2015, Nobbins.
He played from 2011, and he was fantastic.
He played with City from 2015, wasn't he?
No, he joined
2017. And he was fan. But
how come he's the best right back in the history? Because of the trophies, or because he is genuinely the best right back in the history of the Premier League?
Mo, who do you think is the best right back in the Premier League?
I actually don't know.
Walker now is not.
I genuinely don't know.
Walker now is not Walker's legacy. Walker is the greatest right back in Premier League history because
did he ever offer offensive attributes?
Yes, of course, throughout his entire Spurs career and actually in his first 2 seasons at City. But how old is Walker now? 32? I don't know.
33.
33. And Pep asked him for like the last 3 years, whatever, to be a defensive player, and he wasn't that guy at Spurs. He wasn't a defensive. So again,
you know what the issue is with the fullback.
I believe he's the best defensive right fullback in the history.
No, but Mo, before Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson blew apart what we expected from defenders getting involved in terms of getting assists, Kyle Walker was getting 5, 6, and 4 assists a season, and that was seen as pretty good for a fullback.
He was that guy at Spurs, and again in the Centurion season, in the Formidables year, he was a very good offensive outlet and an offensive player. He then had to evolve his game, and Pep said, "I don't want you doing that anymore. I want you to be a defensive player." Okay, he turned into that, which wasn't his game at Spurs, and now Pep's asking him to do something else. So I do feel for Walker because again, it's not his fault that he keeps being asked to do these different things, and now he's in a position where he can't do it because he's 33 years old. But if we're talking about like his overall career and legacy, then without a doubt, yeah, in my opinion, he's the greatest.
I just think though with Walker, the biggest concern has to be the defensive side of things because.
If that goes, he offers nothing.
It's almost a lack of effort. It's almost just like lackadaisical. For me, it's the first one, on Saturday, because I remember watching that one and going, "Why is he jogging back?" It's a 3-on-2.
That annoys me.
And he's jogging back. Like if that was any other right back in the league, they would rightly be getting criticised. And Kyle Walker, as such, should be getting criticised.
Can I just give you guys a stat, guys? You know, Kyle Walker played for Spurs 227 games. He had only 20 assists as a right back.
That's fine. A fullback's offensive value isn't necessarily based solely on assists. I watched Spurs for like 6 years. I know what Walker was at Spurs. He was a very good offensive right back.
All right,
that's not in dispute.
All right then. People just very defensive about this Kyle Walker thing. He's a very good defensive right back. I don't think he's the complete right back at all. I never thought he was. I never thought he was.
For 33 years old, no, but it's not
fair
even
for 30. By the way, 33 years old for right backs isn't that old. It's not Kyle Walker's fault.
It's a player who's not in his prime, though.
You're being defensive. It's not Kyle Walker's fault. You literally just said. You literally just said, Nobbins, Pep is the one who turned him into a defensive right back. You literally said that.
Well,
Right.
It's not his fault. If Trent
Mo.
is tomorrow asked to defend, it's not Trent's fault because players do what they've been told.
I've
And he's
said
been
many
told.
times it's not Walker's fault.
That's it.
What?
So I'm not blaming Walker.
But I'm not blaming Walker.
But I
What I will
can't
say,
get
what
started
I will
and
say, Mo.
you are the best right back in the history of the Premier League. If you're not as a right back, in the modern era, not providing enough assists in the game, you are great defensively, locking people one-on-one, absolutely phenomenal. You locked world-class players like
so for
Vinny.
you, Mo, is Gary Neville in this debate for the best right back in Premier League history?
Listen, I watched Gary Neville a lot of time, and I'm not convinced about Gary Neville. He had 50 assists or something. I checked.
I think you're conflating greatest with
He had
best.
less than Walker. Gary Neville, who was lauded as an attacking right back in this free-flowing Manchester United team at times, has less.
Gary Neville had Beckham
Walker
in front of him. So Gary Neville had Beckham in front of him, one of the greatest wingers to play the game in front of him for a long time. And that takes away from your offensive point.
You're confusing best with greatest, Mo. There's a big difference. Walker is not the best, but he is the greatest.
Oh, all right. Okay, absolutely. Because of the way he manages his men, the way he played against top forwards, the way he led the team sometimes, because I thought Kyle Walker is absolute phenomenal player. I don't know what happened this year, but I thought Kyle Walker is a leader on the pitch. He's always calm. He never panicked. So yes, if you say that, absolutely, 100%.
Yes. Yeah. One is present,
absolutely.
one is past. Yes.
Absolutely fantastic. So we agree then.
So then who is in your
I don't know, Tom, and I'm
best
not about
ever?
going in this debate. Listen, I need to go and check Ivanovic that played, that he was good. I can't remember who else played. Like I can't remember now on top of my head, right? But I can't sit here and assume Walker is in the modern era cannot be the best fullback to play in the Premier League. He is the most decorated one because he played for the greatest team probably in a short span of time that played in the Premier League. But I can't sit here and tell you that Kyle Walker is when his coach limited his offensive contribution. That's it.
Well,
it's as simple as that. But listen, it is what it is, to their own. Like if I'm choosing a right back, in my opinion, I'm not. If I want a right back that is balanced, I'm not choosing Kyle Walker. There are more people to choose
I'm choosing
from.
2017 Kyle Walker.
Maybe I can go back in my memory and 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and look at Kyle Walker at 217. But it's not a player. Is not only one player. I think Ivanovic was absolutely phenomenal at Chelsea, in my opinion. Was great, but again, it's too many right backs that went by my head that I can't actually choose. But in my opinion, Kyle Walker is fantastic and great in one aspect of the game. In the other aspect, he is not the greatest. He isn't the greatest. He isn't great. A right back, he isn't great in crossing. He isn't great in passing. That's it. This guy, for example, by the way, this guy is still 24 years old or 25 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And he's developing his game. He even developing his defensive attributes as well. That's my opinion.
His defensive attributes have never been bad. I don't.
They were not great. They were not great because you didn't need to defend on that side. But that's my opinion. Anyway, listen. People always, when I say something, people just don't like it, and they get. Which we can actually disagree on stuff, right? We can disagree on stuff. I can say Messi is the best. You can say Ronaldo. I can say Ronaldo is the best. I can say R9 is better than them. We can disagree. And we're here to debate it. That's it. We're here to debate it. But you explained. You said he's the greatest right back in the history of the game. I believe that Kyle Walker, if he didn't play for Manchester City, he would not have been held in the same place. In my opinion.
I think, to be fair, I think a lot of that is Spurs tax, to be fair.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do at Spurs. I think though, a player who,
listen, there's a couple of super chats I wanted to.
I thought he was brilliant at City. I thought this player was absolutely brilliant at City, and I think losing him has been a bit of a sort of forgotten blow. Make Laporte would have been very useful this season.
I'm Laporte's biggest defender, but he for how we play now, he would not be able to offer what Gvardiol does, sadly, because he's not comfortable in those wide areas.
I wouldn't play him in that position though. I'd play him where Diaz plays. I'll put him slap bang in the middle.
I don't think I like Laporte in a back three. He's always best in a flat four. I don't think he's that guy, to be honest.
I think Laporte.
I love Laporte, by the way.
Laporte was an absolutely brilliant defender.
But even him last season, he hardly played.
Yeah, I think that was I think that was an issue that City had last year. I honestly, in the summer when there was rumours that Laporte would leave, I was desperate for us to go in for him because I think I'd love to have Laporte, Canate, Van Dijk as centre back options. That would have been immense because Laporte is one of the most underrated ones.
We need to move on to Arsenal, but I need to do these super chats. Ryan, appreciate your super chat. I don't see you a lot in the chat, but Ryan saying, Mo and Tom, I told you both that we were rubbish. You're not rubbish. Just shut up. Stop, Ryan. It's like, what the fuck, bro? Arsenal have won the league. I've won the league already. Szoboszlai, Nunes, and Diaz are useless.
Yeah.
Right? Might not get top 4. This is a crazy super chat. Crazy super chat,
Thank you, Ryan.
Oh my God. He's not going to make top 4. Szoboszlai is rubbish. Diaz is useless. Arsenal already won the league. They're 1 point ahead.
Where's the lie?
Oh my God. This is, oh, wow, Ryan. This is nuts. But I appreciate the super chat. So let me just tell you, Szoboszlai isn't useless. The problem is this is my analysis of super chat. You aren't rubbish. You're still the most consistent team in the league. Arsenal haven't won the league, and I'm going to talk about them. Szoboszlai isn't bad. The problem is some Liverpool fans overrated him. They said Gerrard, they said KDB level, blah, blah, blah. He's a good midfielder, needs still developing, young, coming from the Bundesliga. Nunes is, in my opinion, should not be a Liverpool Football Club forward, right? And Diaz aren't useless. He's just going through a dip for some reason. And you not might get top 4 is an absolute rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. Price is saying Arsenal drew 2 games at home, Liverpool drew 1, and people act crazy. It is a response to Ryan. Thank you so much, Price. Nabil is saying Tom humbled. Further humbling next week against Arsenal.
Oh, you play Arsenal.
You play the mighty Arsenal, who made, I'm not sure if anybody watched that game, because I watched that game. Arsenal, credit to them, made Brighton look so average. Brighton couldn't pass the ball around them.
Is that the Emirates or Anfield?
It was at the Emirates.
Anfield.
The game is at Anfield.
Oh, okay.
Arsenal, in my opinion, credit to Mikel Arteta. And I'm going to say this about Kai Havertz for the people in the chat. And Arsenal fans, be happy that you didn't get Inter in the draw. And I'm going to talk about the draw. Arsenal, the fact that Kai Havertz at the moment is playing for Arsenal in the midfield, and the team isn't hurt. The team is still playing good football. It's credit to Mikel Arteta. He is using Kai Havertz the right way, in my opinion, as a second forward to Gabriel Jesus, which is the only way you can use him. So credit to Mikel Arteta, because people don't want to give credit to Mikel Arteta. I still think Kai Havertz isn't exceptional or isn't brilliant as Arsenal fans want to say about him. It's sacrificing a little bit of Odegaard's game, because Odegaard is dropping a little bit deeper to my liking, but maybe Mikel Arteta sees that. But Arsenal, in my opinion, they are on the right track, right? They are on the right track to get a good result. They can win the league this year, especially because Manchester City are slowing down, and Liverpool also are slowing down. Guys, anybody want to chime in on Arsenal? Go ahead, please.
I'm going to say what I said. They're going to finish at least second this season. I know Tom doesn't share that sentiment, but again, yeah,
they could well do. They could well do.
I remember last time I was on this show, you were adamant that they were finishing third and that you were definitely finishing ahead of them.
No, I still believe we'll finish ahead of them, but it's City that are now doubt.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's fine.
No, I just don't know if City don't book their ideas up, Arsenal will finish above them. I still think we finish above Arsenal. Arsenal still need to prove me otherwise. They have that was a very good performance against Brighton. I'm not going to lie and say it wasn't. It was a very good performance. Limited Brighton to fuck all. But again, my opinion will only really change if they come to Anfield and do us in, because that was the game where it went wrong for them last season. That's the game where it's always seemingly went wrong for them in the past decade. So I now need to see them, prove me wrong.
What date is that game?
Saturday the 23rd. And if they come and prove me wrong, the next time we
Christmas
do one of these shows, I'll be the first person to come on and go, fair enough, got me. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I need Arsenal to prove me wrong in this moment against us. They played very well against Brighton. I do believe that Kai Havertz has kicked on really well, but it does come at the cost of other players on the side. I don't think Martinelli plays as well when Havertz is playing well, and I don't think Odegaard plays as well when Havertz is playing well. But that is just how football is. That's simply just how football is. So there's no reason to panic there. It's just a matter of time, really. It's just it's just a matter of time. They're a good side. I don't know when Thomas Partey is back, but if he's back and he can keep him fit for a while, it'll be very good for them because it'll free up Declan Rice a little bit more. Gabriel and Saliba are a very good partnership at the back. Yeah, they're a good side. I just the mental side of things is still what I need proven. But results like that against Brighton are a big help because that was, going into that game, Brighton had not lost in each of the last 3 visits there. It's another mental hurdle that they've got over. So well done to them. Now we just need to see if they can keep it going.
If they go past Liverpool, but I actually think people are asking Arsenal to go to Anfield and get a result. Nobody goes to Anfield and they are favorites. What happened against Man United doesn't happen every day. I actually think you, Tom, asking Arsenal to come and get a result, if they lose at Anfield, there's nothing wrong with that. Yes, you want to win the title. Man City lost at Anfield last year.
I guess it depends on the manner of if there is a defeat. It depends on the manner of the defeats.
Yes, thank you. If they go and put in a performance and lose on a small detail, I will say you put in a performance. Man City last year lost against Manchester United away at Old Trafford. Circumstances, of course, into consideration. They lost against Liverpool at Anfield. And they still won the title. And they lost against Spurs, if I'm not mistaken. And they still won the title. I don't think them against Liverpool at your ground means that big of a deal. Unless if they win.
Again, Mo, I look at it in the sense of it's not Arsenal versus it's title contenders versus title contenders. And where Arsenal went wrong last year was they lost 6 points to their title contenders in head-to-head games. This year, they can't afford to lose all the games to their title contenders because 6 points is a very hard thing to overturn. So they do need to they do need to try and get something out of their away games against us. They should be expecting to win their home games against us and City, and they've beaten City at home this season, and they should expect to beat us at home this season. It's the away games where you can't really afford to lose. The only year we won the title against City was when we beat them at home. That's the only year we won the title. That wasn't, the shambles of last season. The only year that we were title contender and beat them was the year we won it. Every other year we've dropped points at home, and then you drop points away, and all of a sudden you can't overturn that gap. That's how it is.
Listen, I'm not sure, to be honest. You're asking Arsenal to win or get a result, but for me, I think it's on you to get a result and win the game. It's on Liverpool if they want to stay in contention. It's on Liverpool to win that game. It's Arsenal. It's not on them.
Arsenal don't need to come to Anfield and win. Arsenal need to come to Anfield and not lose. That's all I was saying. They can't afford to lose. I think it's a bit of a blow if they lose.
What do you mean they can't afford? They can't afford to lose. If they lose,
no, because
if anybody that loses to Anfield,
I've just said it, Mom. When you are a title contender, you can't afford to lose to your direct title contenders home and away, which is what Arsenal done last year, which is what I believe was the biggest reason it fell apart for them. Now, they've already got over hump one with City this year. They've beaten City at home. Now, we are, in theory, another title contender. They need to try and get a result away from home against us. They don't need to win. We are the ones who need to win because you need to win your home games against your title contenders. But Arsenal need to not lose. That's all I've said.
Nobbins, do you agree? The Arsenal need to be title contenders, need not to lose, but Liverpool, there has to be one or the other.
No, I don't think Arsenal need to win. As I say, I don't even think they need to draw. I think that they need to go to Anfield and prove that they can they can, mix it up there. That they can compete. That they can be on a relatively level playing field with Liverpool, even if they lose 1-0. I don't think that's necessarily a massive issue. For me, it's only a massive issue if Liverpool play them off the park and they embarrass them and they sort of like send a message to Arsenal of, yeah, mate, you're not ready yet, sort of thing. I don't see it being a must win. I don't see it being a must not lose. I don't think we're at that stage of the season yet. I think Arsenal have enough credit in the bank for that. And as I say, I'd be more concerned with the result than more concerned with the performance than the result.
I'm on the same boat, to be honest. I'm actually on the same boat. Ryan, listen, modern right back, Bakary Sagna and Azpilicueta as well.
I'm sorry. You're not putting Bakary Sagna in debates for best Premier League right back of all time.
This is some revisionism here. Sagna was never that guy. He was all right. He was never that guy.
No, Bakary Sagna.
Azpilicueta can. I think Azpilicueta is Chelsea's best bet for it. If you're not counting Ashley Cole as a modern day right back, Azpilicueta is probably the best argument for it. I'm not putting Bakary Sagna in. No, fuck that.
I'd rather have if we're choosing a Chelsea right back, I'd much rather Ivanovic over.
I think Azpilicueta goes so under the radar. I think he's one of the better ones of the Premier League. He had the versatility. I think he was. I think he had the versatility. He could do left back and right back. Be fine in both roles.
Ivanovic, right back, centre back, and he's got a big bum.
Right. So the reason you like Ivanovic isn't necessarily just football reasons. Okay.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You like a little bit of eye candy on your right back,
guys.
do you?
Okay. Ryan with another one is an unpopular opinion.
Oh, shut the fuck up, please.
Keita, when fit, was better than Szoboszlai. I don't see a way we get a result against Arsenal. People in the chat, we have a lot of Arsenal fans, we have a lot of Liverpool fans. Looking at it now, what do you think the result will be? Give me your predictions. Not you guys, the guys in the chat. Give me your predictions for Liverpool v Arsenal, please.
Do you not want our predictions?
From now, you want predictions from Liverpool Arsenal now? You can give your predictions.
Oh, I don't know. Well, why are you asking the chat now? Not us. I feel left out.
Do you want to give your prediction for Liverpool?
No, I don't want to give it now.
Shut up! Stop!
I'd go
you raise his feelings. He doesn't want to give.
I'd go 1-1. I'd go 1-1. I think.
I actually think that at the end, this is going to be a draw as well. 1-1 or 2-2.
This Mo geezer just keeps copying my takes, man.
Yeah, people say that. A lot of people say that to me, that I copy people's takes. Price is saying it's all good. Let's beat Arsenal and back to the top. 2-1 to Liverpool.
I think it depends on if Arsenal do that thing that they've done the past couple of years, which is rile the crowd up for no reason.
Oh, yeah, what Xhaka did, huh?
Yeah, where you 2-0 up and then you just decide to try and fucking punch Trent, and it sets us off. And then the year before that, it was Arteta. It was 0-0. We looked shit, and Arteta starts trying to scrap Klopp. Crowd gets going. 3 minutes later, we score the opener, and then we go on to win 4-0. If you can keep the crowd quiet, which is what United had done yesterday, you'll be on for something. But I am a deluded Liverpool fan who's going to believe that Kai Havertz is going to try and absolutely boot Szoboszlai or something, set the crowd off, we win 3-1.
All right. Okay, last word before, guys, stay on this video. Don't go anywhere. It will take you to Hussam's stream. He's about to start. Last word. Spurs, Aston Villa. Should we take anyone seriously at all?
In the
title, yes or no?
Not in my opinion.
No. What about which one of them do you think can one of them take over from a third place? Man City, Liverpool, or Arsenal? One of them?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You think both will fall?
I think that
I don't think they fall. I just don't think I think all three of Liverpool, City, Arsenal book their ideas up and finish above them. They don't need to fall for that to happen. Let's be honest, and no one expected Aston Villa to be in this position that they're in. So they will just balance out. Tottenham will balance out. City will sort themselves out and balance out. So then just because they finish fourth doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's a very good thing for Villa. massive achievement for Unai Emery. And if it's Tottenham do it, massive achievement for Postecoglou. But I don't see how any of them sides maintain it over the rest of the season to finish above the 3 best sides in the league.
If it happens, then Emery should get manager of the season, probably. But I would be amazed if it did. I think it'd be really good if they did, and I'd like it to happen, just from an entertainment perspective.
When do we take them seriously? When do you think is the threshold?
In a title situation?
Well, I mean, not win it. Like, if you consider, but to go all the way, like be within 5-6 points towards the end of the season, towards the last 5 games. When do you think we should take them seriously? Like, consider them part of the equation?
I'll go like last 10 games, I think.
Last 10 games, 30 games.
If they're still there in the last 10 games, sort of like, like only if there's a result in it, like only 3 points between them and like third, then I'll be very interested.
Yeah. If we get to the run-in and they're still in the conversation, then 100%. But I'm going to struggle to give it to them at this point, just because I don't believe the squad is as good as the other 3.
Do you know the next games for Aston Villa are Sheffield, Man United, Burnley, Everton, and then they play Newcastle at home, then Sheffield United, then Man United, then Fulham, then Forest. They don't play any of you 3 and then Luton.
Well, to be fair, the titles aren't usually defined by top clashes. They're usually defined by how you compete against the quote lesser and middling side. So that will be interesting.
I agree with you.
So if they can, overcome all those challenges, then yeah, sure, absolutely. But sometimes for a team like Villa, they might be even the harder games.
I mean, it's an interesting one. I know that obviously they won yesterday, but that Boubacar Kamara fella got himself sent off, so he's now banned for 3 games. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle without the best DM.
I think they have Jacob Ramsey, they have John McGinn, they have Louise. I think
they've got good midfielders, but I'm on about Boubacar Kamara. The way Aston Villa build up is Kamara moves into centre back at build up.
Yes. Which
allows Digne and who the fuck's the right back? Matty Cash, or when it's
Constantine. It's Constantine.
So it allows one of them to bomb on because Kamara drops in. Now losing him for 3 games, it'll be interesting to see what midfielder Unai Emery goes for to pick up that same role. If he goes for a player to play that same role, because McGinn, don't really think he can do it. I think McGinn's a good player, but I don't think he can do that. Douglas Luiz, you limit him by asking him to do that. Jacob Ramsey can't do it. He's a very attacking midfielder. I wouldn't want to put him in and around their own defence area. So it's an interesting one. It's a really interesting one. So they're a good side. They've shocked a lot of teams this year, beating Arsenal, beating City. Villa Park's a horrible place to go at the minute. So credit to them for that. Just because we're saying that we don't think they'll win a title or beat out any of the top 3 to a spot there isn't a bad thing. It's a very good thing for Villa, and it'll be a good thing for Tottenham as well, because I don't think anyone really expected Tottenham to bounce back this quickly.
Yeah. Listen, stay on this stream. It will take you to Hussam's stream. I know the guys, you have to go. Just give me 1 minute or 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere, people. Last thing about the draw. Who did Liverpool draw in the Champions League? In the Europa League. I'm sorry.
Oh, that was sly.
It's not
actually
yet.
did a minute draw.
I
thought it's the same day. I thought it's the same day.
No. So because
you skipped around the 32, right?
Yes,
skipped around the 32.
We finished top, so we skipped around the 32.
All right. Manchester City got Copenhagen. Surprise, surprise. Got the easy steam.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Surprise, surprise. What does that mean? Actually,
it means
what
that
you're
very lucky. You're very lucky.
I'll say it. You just pay UEFA to get the easy fucking draws.
Pay UEFA to take us to court and try to ban us from their competition.
Yeah, no, because you know when you're trying to do shady things, so you gotta act like you hate each other in public, but behind the scenes, you're all lovey-dovey. That's what it was.
They could have got Napoli. They could have got Lazio. They could have got Leipzig. They could have got Paris Saint-Germain.
We could have got Leipzig because we played them.
Okay, so you could have got Inter. They could have had PSG. They could have had Porto even. But no, hold on. Who do you get? You get Copenhagen.
Guys, it's called the luck of the draw.
Oh yeah,
Keywords
no,
there.
no, but Nobbins, look at the drawers occasionally.
Look. Was it luck, guys, when we got Real Madrid and Bayern and Inter Milan last season? Was it luck in 2013 when we had the worst group in Champions League history? Dortmund, Real Madrid, Ajax, all of which were
So it
champions.
is luck then. So you agree it's luck?
I just
It's
told you it's
luck.
luck. Yeah, it's
Okay.
luck of the
I
draw.
never
It's
said-
luck of the draw.
I never
You
said
say
anything.
surprise, surprise, you
I said
fraudster,
surprise, surprise.
trying to suggest it's something malicious.
I mean, I was suggested something malicious because I want to ask you a question just before we
Tom's
go.
guilty.
Tom's
Guilty.
not even suggesting, he's just
Guilty.
saying it.
Yeah, no,
Tom,
I want to ask Nobbins, how many years in a row have you faced Leipzig?
23.
But by the way, let me just put a fact here. Leipzig as a second team isn't bad. Leipzig is a tough opponent. The fact that Man City make them look average is credit to Man City. Just to put that out there. Leipzig will give a lot of people trouble. Man City make them look average, completely different. So credit to Man City. It's not the other way around. For Inter to get Atletico Madrid, people, it's going to be hell. Nobbins can tell you about the Wanda Metropolitana. When you go play there, it's absolutely shambolic stadium.
Atletico Madrid is the most horrible place to go.
That's going to be an awful game, man.
It's a horrible place
It's
to
so
go.
bad.
Yeah, yeah.
You just sit there and you watch them in such good defensive shape, and you go, "We can't. I can't even get annoyed."
Beat up
'cause
your players. You watch them beat up your players, and you're just watching. I'm like, what? What?
It's
Yeah,
like
Man
sending
City
a
will
poor
tell you-
fucking out to die. I've just got watching me go. There's nothing he can do.
We might
It's a
get
wall to
smoked.
get past,
People
and
are
just start
asking me.
bullying you.
We might against Atletico Madrid. I said one of the teams I don't want to face is Atletico Madrid after the Bayern, Real Madrid, and Man City, because Atletico Madrid, the problem isn't about the football only. There are way many more factors into playing Diego Simeone and his team, especially the second leg at their ground. It doesn't matter what you do at home. You know that you're not going to win if you win by more than 1 goal margin. And you're going to go to their stadium and they get a shit house their way into scoring a goal or do something. So I'm not
all I'll
confident
say,
at
Mo,
all.
is be very scared of Alvaro Morata. That's my guy.
And also by February, things might have changed for both teams. We don't know where Atletico Madrid will be in the league. We might have been wrapping up the league by then, Inter, and we can rest the players, or we might be in a title race with Juventus. At the moment, we are flying in the league, right? So by February, it's still 2 months, so it's completely different. Listen, people, stay on the stream. Thank you, Nobbins. Tom, I appreciate your time. You are in the description, both channels. Nobbins, fantastic tactical analysis videos. Absolutely brilliant. You have to go and watch these videos. Absolutely brilliant ones. And Tom Little in the description, of course. He's doing match reactions now, so go watch his rant and him fighting with the chat. Look at Nobbins Guardiola, of course, with his tactical analysis.
Fraudiola.
Oh, yeah.
Fraudiola.
So, guys, stay on the stream. Don't go anywhere. Go to Osam. And I want you, when you go to Osam, to tell them Mo is saying you're a fraud. Just say that. The loser. Hussam.
Just
Tell
take
him
Curtis
Mo
Jones. Give him Curtis Jones prop. Just anything to do with Curtis Jones. Boss, anything positive about Curtis Jones. Just go spam his chat with that.
Yes, guys, go and watch that. Thank you, Nobbins, Tom. Appreciate you guys. And we'll see you guys soon. And we're out.